Welcome back. In this short lesson, we'll look at the process of normalizing a database. That means checking it to make sure it doesn't have any errors in it. In this lesson, we'll look at what normalizing means and the 3 rules of normalization: first, second, and third normal form. Normalization is a standard process. When we create a database, we make an ERD, we make sure there are no many-to-many relationships, and then we set up a table for each entity. Each table has a primary key, and the primary keys are used as foreign keys to make links between tables. A normal database, one that's in its correct form, will have no data duplication, will have consistency between tables. It will be easy to find and edit the data so it can be kept up to date and used in the business processes, and it will have referential integrity. When we create a database, we need to make sure that it's normalized, or sometimes we might be brought into a company that's got an existing database, perhaps that grew up bit by bit without proper organization, or hasn't been set up right, or has had some changes made to it. And all of these things mean that the database might not be quite in its correct final form. For this reason, whether we've created the database ourselves or we've been called in to troubleshoot somebody else's database, we need to normalize it. That means we will check it, make sure that it's fully relational, identify and remove any replication of data, make sure there aren't any many-to-many links, and fix any other errors that might be in place. There is a formal process of this, and if you became a database consultant, for instance, you'd learn a lot more about these. But basically, we'd make sure that the data is in first, second, and third normal form. I'm only going to review these very quickly in this presentation. It's quite a big topic in its own right, and there are specialist qualifications in database design and normalization. First normal form is you check the database to make sure that there are no repeated attributes or groups of attributes. So putting that in sort of everyday speech, in a well-designed database, each fact should be stored once only in the table of the appropriate entity that fact relates to. The only exception is the use of foreign keys. In second normal form, we are checking that every attribute is dependent on the whole of the candidate key. Basically, that means that all the attributes in the table are derived from a single entity which is uniquely identified by the primary key. So we're not mixing up attributes of different entities in the same table. And thirdly, every attribute is dependent on the primary key and not dependent on anything else. And again, this is complex, but basically we need to end up in a database where everything is stored once and the links are straightforward and there aren't any many-to-many complicated links either between or within tables. Basically, once we've normalized the database, there should be no replication. The data should be simple to maintain and update, and we will have referential integrity. That means that data won't be contradict itself or be missing when we're expecting it to be there. And it should be straightforward to find and use the data in the database. So to recap, normalizing is a process of checking the database, whether it's our own work or somebody else's work. And we go through 3 stages called the first, second, and third normal form. If you're my student, part 3 of the relational database workbook is all about this topic. So have a go at that now, and I'll see you in the next lesson to continue looking at databases. Bye for now.